So Fender was nice enough to send me one of their new Player Series 2 Telecasters, and this model intrigued me because it costs around $800. Over here is my 52 Fender Custom Shop Telecaster, and it costs around $4,000. So there's pretty much a 5x price difference between those two. But is there going to be a 5x tone difference? Let me know in the comments. Here's how they sound. Let's get into these tone differences. But before we do that, super quick plug. If you like how I'm soloing, if you like my sense of melody, you can actually learn that. I launched the Melodic Soloing Guitar course. You can find it in the description. It contains all building blocks, so you can actually come up with cool melodic solos yourself. And if you're interested in that, check that out. Also, if you like what I played there, the exact song that I played, I have tabs and backing track for you in the description as well. So check that out. Now, how are these two different? I can hear a very slight difference. I can hear a little bit more brightness in the Fender Player Series, and I can hear a little bit more depth in the Custom Shop. So the Custom Shop is the better guitar than the Player Series, and a video see you next week, right? No. Because there's a couple things we still need to go over. I want to present a couple clean tones for you in just a second. And I also want to talk about feel, how they feel different, and also about the craftsmanship a little bit, as well as some other things. Some are in favor of the Custom Shop, but also some are in favor of the Player Series. So let's get into it. So here's a clean tone with the Custom Shop. Middle position. Some tonal differences here, but again, is that a 10% difference? Maybe. And considering that both these guitars have different pickups and different saddles, I think I could basically get them to 5% difference if I match the hardware. And this is where I actually want to get into the feel aspect of all these different things, because sound-wise, I think the difference is when you consider the price difference, I think the sound differences are just not big enough to just justify the price difference, because it does sound good. To me, this Telecaster sounds very healthy, pretty good. And it has some flaws, but they're not on the tonal side. I think they're on the feel side. This is what I want to talk about. Feel. What is feel? Feel is pretty much undefinable, right? Everybody means something else when they talk about feel. But when I talk about feel, what I mean is how the neck feels. Usually the feel is very, very based on how the neck feels. And the Player Series neck, although it is a satin neck, so it doesn't feel sticky and new in that regard, it does feel inferior to a custom shop neck, but that is because of the rolled edges. I am aware that these Player Series Telecasters do have rolled edges already, but they're not rolled enough. They're not as good as my custom shop neck. It's just way, way, way less comfortable, and that's what you're noticing right away when you pick up the guitar. Does that really affect your playing? I think it does a little bit. What affects your playing way more, I think, is the fact that this fretboard is heavily lacquered, much more so than the custom shop that I have, which is lacquered too, but since it's a relic one, most of the lacquer, I guess, is already off or has been stripped to some extent. But with these lacquered fretboards, I have to say, they don't feel comfortable. If I'm doing overbends here, it kind of has the tendency to get sticky, and I don't want sticky necks because I want to move fast over the fretboard and with a lot of freedom. And when the fretboard is sticky, that's just not the case. So lacquer on the fretboard, not the best. And then there was one thing that I thought was really a concern, which was when this guitar arrived, actually, on the frets, there was still lacquer from the fretboard left on the frets. So when you did a vibrato like this, you could feel how some of the lacquer would just basically fall off. And then you would notice, because you're like, oh, there's flakes of lacquer on this fretboard. And you could see there was still lacquer left from the fretboard on the actual frets. And it wasn't a big disaster just because you can easily just peel it off with your own pick. It takes 10 minutes, but it was on every fret, actually. And to take that off is not a big deal, but it also shouldn't happen for $800, I'm pretty sure. But that's kind of the stuff that you're calculating in when you're buying a guitar at that price. Does it sound really, really good? Yes. Is it a worse guitar than my custom shop Telecaster? I don't think so. The only thing that is really, really different is the feel of the neck and these kind of correctable flaws, like a little bit of lacquer left on the frets, which is not nice, which is not great and shouldn't happen. Other than that, I think money for value with this guitar is amazing. It's not too heavy, 3.6 kilograms, I think. Tuners are okay. Pickups are okay. They sound different than mine. I have no-caster pickups in my custom shop Telecaster as far as I know. Not sure what's in this one, but it's not no-caster pickups. The difference is pretty clear. This guitar is a little bit brighter. I guess that's because of the pickups. But if I was to change the pickups and the saddles to the same specs as here, I think this guitar can sound 95-ish% like this one at a fraction of the price. It is a good sounding guitar at under $1,000. So some things are in favor of this. Of course, the feel. And I know you like this guitar a lot because if you're a follower of this channel, I know you keep asking me to play this. But this one is by no means a worse guitar. It's a different feeling guitar. Let me know what you're thinking. Let me know your opinion on expensive guitars versus cheap guitars versus whatever guitars. And give me a like, subscribe to the channel if you like that kind of content. I do that stuff all the time. Check out my course, check out my tabs and backing tracks if you like my songs. I'll see you in the next one.